Hello everybody and welcome to the Matthew Allton Art channel again. I am doing another video this evening, something very different this time. I'm going to return to using pastels. I've got my old Inscribe pastels. They're not expensive pastels that I used to use when I was doing a lot of life drawing classes and things in the about 20-30 years ago then, so they're really old. Probably can't buy them now. I did buy another set of them. I don't know when that was, not 30 years ago, but more recently, hoping to return to them. So they're not expensive ones, as I say, but I'm going to return to trying to use them. And you can see that I've taped up a black piece of paper because this piece of work is in response to the Patreon challenge. Those of you that follow the channel know that I've got a Patreon and we do a fortnightly art challenge amongst us on there, and it's chosen by the Patreons and me. You know, we take it in turns, and the challenge for the first part of April, the first fortnight of April, was a non-monochromatic night scene. So I scratched my chin and thought about this for a little while, and I thought I'd try and do a sort of a cityscape with all the lights on wet pavement, but sort of quite abstract really. So the lights are going to be out of focus on it, and I've got a reference that I'm going to use sort of as a basic reference, but I'm going to make a lot of it up really. So it's going to be sort of like an out of focus night street scene with lots of neon and reflections in the pavements, on damp pavements and road and that sort of thing. I say that's what it's going to be. It may not turn out looking like that at all. Time will tell. It's been so long since I've used this medium. But hopefully, let's see how we get on. All right then, so I think what I might do is start just by drawing out roughly where the main shapes are, just so that I can get some sort of perspective in it, because although it's out of focus, it still needs to look like a street receding into the distance, I think. So I might just use pencil very lightly to indicate the main shapes that I can see. Okay, so let's see how we get on. Talk to you in a bit. So you can see here I'm just using a mechanical pencil, a fine pencil, to put the shapes of the lights that are out of focus down. So the main areas of colour really. You can't see what most of those shapes are because on the reference it's blurred photograph of the lights. So the lights become, instead of, you know, pinpoint accurate, they're sort of orbs. You can see already that the way that I've put those shapes on is beginning to indicate perspective of looking down a street. All those circles that you see are the lights, which have been blurred and expanded. Just indicating shapes of colour, very subtle colour of course, because most of it, the top is quite dark where the lights aren't. Not being particularly accurate about it really, just enough to give the idea of perspective really. And those lines will be slightly altered as I add the actual pastel. My idea here was to start at the top left hand corner and work down so that I wasn't smudging, but that didn't quite work out. I started dotting all over the place as I normally do when I work. Very tentative start to use the pastel here. So I'm applying colour using the pastel, pressing on quite hard, and then using a cotton bud to sort of blend those colours. And actually when the cotton buds get a bit of sort of colour on them over time, I'm just using those to draw the more subtle things, because they've got the dust of the pastel on them. Doesn't look anything at the moment, but I'm persevering. The lights aren't bright enough at the moment, because as soon as I blend them, they sort of dull down a little bit. So towards the end, I start putting actual just pure pastel, pressing on quite hard and putting pure pastel on them. The idea as well was to not really use black. I used the black paper thinking that I would be able to get away without using black, but I soon realised that in order to push some of the bits that I've put on back, I was going to have to blend it with black. So all of the dark areas of the paper are pretty much covered by the end using black pastel. So again, the same technique of applying the colours that I see, and then blending them using the cotton bud. And you can't see what these shapes are. I'm just trying to sort of give the impression of bits of building and signs sticking out and that sort of thing. You see me brightening up the lights there to make them sort of zing. Brightening up that yellow light there and the red lights. And now it's beginning to start to look like the street scene that I'm sort of copying on the reference, or loosely copying on the reference. It's beginning to look quite effective, really. And considering I haven't used pastels for so long, you know, it's literally 25 years, probably 20 years since I used them. I used to use them quite a lot for life drawings because they're quite quick to cover large areas with. Just indicating a little bit of detail there. You don't want it to draw your eye because so much of the picture isn't detailed, but just pushing back some of that bit on the building on the left there with black. Just adding some perspective in the bottom corner there to draw the eye to the middle of the picture. It's getting towards completed now. A little quick experiment with pastels. Definitely return to them again, but they just seemed ideal for this challenge because non-monochromatic night scenes, this certainly isn't monochromatic. There's lots of different colours in it that I wouldn't normally use in such a bright way. My work tends to be quite grey and subtle in a lot of ways. You see I'm just tightening up some of the edges of the shapes now with black. Brightening up some of the light. Make them look like lights. Well, this is the final drawing. I'm really pleased with it, really, considering I haven't done pastels for such a long time. And it certainly hit the fortnightly art challenge on the Patreon of non-monochromatic night scene. I think it's quite successful, really. It took about 1 hour 35, something like that, including the drawing out at the beginning. So not too bad at all. It's about 20-ish centimetres by 20 centimetres. I love it when you remove the tape from the edge of a drawing or painting and you get that nice crisp edge around it. It looks a bit messy when you sort of got all the chalk dust or the pastel dust all over the edge of the tape and that sort of thing, and it's such a nice thing to reveal such a nice neat edge. I actually did this while talking to the patrons on Patreon. We were all doing bits of art and chatting together while doing it. It's a really nice atmosphere on there and very encouraging. So I've completed the first art challenge for April. The next one is going to be eyes. I think the topic has been chosen. So a bit of sort of life drawing again. Lots of sketches of eyes, probably from my point of view in the sketchbook, from different angles. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I've been very prolific recently. 2 videos in 3 days, I think this is. Thank you for your time. If you're new here and you enjoyed watching, then do subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'll put a link to the materials that I've used here so that you can purchase them via those links on Amazon if you want to. I'm an Amazon associate, so I do get a very tiny cut of that sale if you do that, so it helps support the channel if you do. Okay, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks very much. Bye.